Hello, and thank you for joining me. Today I got a question in my inbox that said, "Hey, this is a question for the fireside." After reading the question, I thought, this is a good question for a video. So this is what it says. If it is true that we are playing out our destiny program 100% and don't have any free will at all, our consciousness simply saying, "I wonder," is not free will, as there is no choice involved, but simply curiosity, then the key question is this: what is the point? What is the point of going through life like a puppet, and why should we? So give me just a second while I think about this. The first thing about the question and how it is stated is something pertaining to a program, a destiny program. Because we are living out the totality of our life, the totality of every side to every situation, so that we can actually come out of this life with full comprehension, then it's not a program per se. We didn't make a plan prior to coming down here. So we didn't sit in the ethereal realm and say, okay, these are the things I want to experience. This is what I need to experience. And these are the things I have to learn. So it's not a program here. Now, we aren't a puppet. We're not a puppet. What we are is the thought process of our consciousness. So we're not separate from our consciousness. We are our consciousness. Our consciousness resides on the other side of the veil. It's only our brain that's creating this veil. That means that this body, everything about this body, hologram as it is, resides on the other side of the veil. Our brain filters the ethereal information so that we can pay attention to each side of each choice individually and simultaneously, without needing to turn into someone else or duplicating ourselves. It's all at the same time. So we're not a puppet. This body is very special. This body was created with intent. This body, your body, my body, every body was created with intent to be able to experience, witness, watch life from this vantage point. So in that case, then we have free will, because we were a decision. We were a decision made by our consciousness to be able to observe life from this specific vantage point that will never be replicated, can never be duplicated. This is it. There's only going to be one of me, and there's only one of you forever. Now, we can't have free will without determinism, and we can't have determinism without free will. So how does that work? Because we are living out the totality of this life, because we are living out both sides to every decision, to every choice, to every experience, that portion is determinism, because we cannot dictate, we cannot control anything that is going on outside of this body. And we really can't even control anything that's going on inside this body. The only thing that we get to do is how are we going to react, respond, and behave to a myriad of situations. So this thought process now, this little cute body that we have is living out the determinism, okay? Because it's living out both sides of every choice. And I know I keep saying this, and both sides to every situation, because we don't get to control any of that. Now, if free will was working down here on this earthbound plane where we're saying, okay, I'm going to make this decision. So now we have this free will that's saying, I'm going to make this decision and I'm going down this side of this decision, and I will never experience or get to see what happens on this other side because I'm making only one side of that choice. We make that decision with expectancy. So because we make that decision with expectancy, we think that then I have this free will and now this is what's going to happen. I made this choice. When we make this choice and we have no control over what happens environmentally with our interactions in the environment outside or with our interactions with the environment inside of our body. We just make that choice through expectancy. Okay. It would make life extraordinarily lopsided. Now, we don't live life going from point A to point B. We don't live life on a line. We live life fully, totality. We have more than a line going on around us. Imagine, hold on. Imagine that we are sitting here, or you're sitting there, or you're wherever you are. You're right where you are. If we were living a point A to point B life, then nothing else in our periphery would exist because we're only going in a straight line. And every choice would only be going into a straight line. So it would go, it would be very sharp. But that's not what it is. Nature gives us hints and clues all the time as to what is going on. There is more to our life than a straight line. There is more to our life than birth to death. And we can see that just by sitting where we are right now, because there is more to this video than me talking, right? There's a chair, there's my dog under a blanket, there are my ferns and pictures and wood for the fire and a whole myriad of things. And outside this room, there are trees that are losing their leaves, and the bears are harvesting and fattening up for the winter, and the kitchen is doing whatever is going on in the kitchen, hopefully just staying tidy. So nature is not tricking us. And when we go back to that word program, if there had been a program that we decided on while we were in the ethereal plane, before we came down here, we would know what that is. We wouldn't be thrown in here to the lions and said, okay, figure it out. Figure out what your program is. Figure out what you're supposed to learn. Because life on the ethereal plane isn't cruel. It's not into making cruel jokes. I think that's what I wanted to say. That we are not a puppet. We are not separate from our consciousness. We are the thought process of our consciousness. We were wanted and desired by our consciousness to be able to see and view and witness what life is like from this exceedingly unique vantage point. And you were chosen by your consciousness. So your consciousness can see life through your eyes. That's a big deal. All right, I think that's what I wanted to say. For real, I will stop the video now. All right, bye guys. Thank you.